What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. I'm your boy NarikChase, and in this video we are going to be talking about the awesome, the badass Stephen King novel, Salem's Lot. Stephen King wrote this novel back in, I believe, 1975, 1976. That's when it originally came out, and it's basically about this writer who comes back to his hometown or Jerusalem's Lot, and next thing you know, he starts realizing that vampires are beginning to slowly take over the town. Got to say, I've never read the book. I've seen the movies, for the first movie, not the remake. I need to check out the remake. But I saw the movie, thought it was crappy at first, and came back and watched it. I'm like, okay, it's a really good movie. Really enjoyed this audio book. I had a great time with it. I thought there was just so much to actually like about it. And I have to go ahead and give it to Stephen King. He does a great job with characters. This is really my second book that I've read of his. And he has a great job of establishing characters, their motivation, their personalities, their backstories. He just kept me really just engaged with this book. Now, in terms of the story, the story basically is about him, but it is talking about the other characters that are in this town as well, and those who picking up on things and the everyday lives of these characters. Now, one thing I will say that I like about this book is the fact that the story feels progressive. Everything that's happening is a gradual build of how this Count Barlow is slowly taking over this town, and I love it because the build up feeds so much into the suspense, the terror, the dark atmosphere, and he does just a great job of just building to this terrific climax. I thought the stories was really engaging. The various subplots were very interesting, and they helped feed into the overall story. Now, in terms of the characters, I actually really enjoyed the characters as well. The main protagonist is Ben Mears, and he has been lost his wife in an accident a while back, so he's dealing with that. He's trying to finish writing his third book, and he's coming back to Salem's Lot to trying to get over his fear of this Marston house, which has had a significant effect on his childhood. I really enjoyed his character. And Susan Norton, who eventually becomes his love interest, is actually a pretty likable character. Do like the chemistry between these two. Their progression in a relationship with each other was actually pretty good. There are a number of other interesting characters in the story as well. I liked Mark, Jimmy, the preacher guy was actually pretty cool. My favorite character probably is Matt, who's just a school teacher. He's a really cool guy. He's really knowledgeable. He's really easy to talk to, and I really appreciated that about his character, especially his relationship that he has with Ben, and how they feel basically like old friends after the first few conversations that they have with each other. To the antagonists of it, we have a Richard Straker, who's the right-hand man of Kurt Barlow, and I like Richard Straker's. He was actually a pretty cool character. He's a really cool henchman too, and I like how he could come off as creepy, but at the same time he can kind of be a bit charismatic. Now, Kurt Barlow, on the other hand, is awesome, charismatic. He was actually cool. He actually used manipulation. He was very smart and cunning. He just felt like he had a lot of great personality, and he was actually pretty badass. Really thought that this guy did a fantastic job with the reading. Ron McLarty, he was great. The man was just freaking fantastic. He was well paced. He was clear in his speech. He was very concise. I loved the way this man just presented the characters. He made the characters all feel very different. A lot of great depth and emotion to the voices of the characters. And going back to the writing, I think the writing was done really well. I like how it felt, the characters felt really real with their dialogue. They felt like they thought, and they put that thought process into what they were saying, especially when all of this stuff is going down and you have Ben explaining how he could potentially believe what's going on, Matt how he could potentially believe what was going on, Susan how she could potentially believe what was going on, and just a little bit of tidbit of things that they had in the conversation where they was potentially educating each other. So I really like the fact that that King just went out his way to make the character dialogue really good. For the overall story was just great as well. It had good pace to it, and I like the little arcs that they had for it. He took a lot of things into consideration, that how they keep mentioning queers and stuff, kind of their thing at that time. Salem's Lot was just a great reading experience. Not only are the characters really memorable and likable and actually well written, the story was memorable and well written. It maintains a very suspenseful and tension-filled atmosphere as things just progressively get worse and worse. The writing is exceptional. The reading was just phenomenal. Very clear, very concise. The Martian House, it felt like it was just as much of a character as the other characters were. So in the end, I have to say Salem's Lot definitely deserves a 5 out of 5. For all of you people who have not read this book or listened to the audiobook, go. Alright then guys, in the comment section below, let me know, have you either read or listened to Salem's Lot? What did you think about the book? Also, who is your favorite character as well? Because like I said, Matt was my favorite character. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. We'll catch you guys later.